We have received troubling news from the US about a new disease that is spreading at an alarming rate. Not a lot is known about it yet, but the scientists are working to cure it. They call this disease... hold up a sec, am I reading this right? Flex tape? What exactly is a flex tape?
Flex tape is no ordinary tape. Its triple thick adhesive virtually welds itself to the surface.
Screw it, I don't get paid enough for this anyway. Welcome to Plague Inc., the game where you can annihilate the world's population with, well, pretty much anything.
Your mom.
The game offers 11 diseases, a separate cure mode which is a little bit too complicated for my liking, and an overabundance of mental pain when you get locked out of Greenland for the 10th time in a row. Despite the game's somewhat complex nature,
What the hell is this?
the basic gameplay loop is pretty simple. You start in Saudi Arabia, gather DNA points to upgrade your disease, infect as many people as possible before you are discovered, pray to God that you can infect the island nations before they close their ports, and kill every human on the planet. Before you start your session, you can modify your genetic code with some special genes that can be unlocked by simply playing the game. An optimal setup usually depends on the disease, but once you have them, make sure to always use Aquasite and Extremophile. You can thank me later. But before that, you'll have to choose the difficulty. Casual is every pathogen's wet dream, as nobody takes personal hygiene seriously and doctors don't even go to work. Normal is meant to mimic reality, with most people washing their hands and doctors actually giving a shit about their job. Then there's Brutal, which is almost dystopian with its regulations.
Oh shit, not good.
And if that wasn't challenging enough, as the game literally points out, there's Mega Brutal, where you get shit like random medical checks. Now you might be asking yourself, what does flex tape have to do with any of this? Don't worry, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I saw this pipe in half.
Let's go over the different types of diseases first. The bacteria is everyone's first plaguing experience, and it's one of the easier diseases to play as. Its only unique feature is a bacterial shell that increases climate resistance. Aside from that, it's pretty basic and doesn't really have anything else. Next up is the virus, which is a little tricky to control because it just keeps on mutating new symptoms. I mean, sure, every disease in the game can mutate, but the virus does so a lot more frequently. You might want to use a gene that stops the devolving cost from increasing with this one. There is a gene that allows you to get DNA for devolving, but that one just straight up doesn't work in this scenario. The fungus is a special type of disease, as it is very bad at traveling long distances outside of a potential host, making cross-country infection a little bit more tricky than it needs to be. To counteract this, the fungus has several uses of spore bursts. One such burst will pick a random uninfected country and infect it. It's essentially a failsafe for when Greenland closes their port. The parasite also has a special gimmick. It has a special ability that allows it to be less detectable, lowering your severity and increasing your infectivity. If you play it right, you can spread all over the world and start killing people without even being noticed. As you can see in this example here, I managed to kill around 4 million people before I got discovered. In order to balance this out, the parasite doesn't get DNA points from infecting people, meaning that you're pretty much dependent on orange and red bubbles. If you're planning on playing this on Brutal or Mega Brutal, you should also use Catalytic Switch, as that one allows you to get DNA from blue bubbles. The Prion is about as basic as the bacteria. Nothing special except for the neural atrophy, which acts as an expansion to genetic hardening, which all diseases get. The main difference is that neural atrophy is cheaper, but also less effective. Alright, now we're getting into the interesting stuff. The nanovirus differentiates itself from the previous diseases by being man-made, meaning the world already knows of your existence and they immediately start working on a kill switch. The nanovirus is essentially a race against time, giving you plenty of opportunities to set back the cure progress. While this does make the nanovirus the most stressful disease, it also makes it the fastest, as you have to infect and kill people at very high speeds. The bioweapon is, like the nanovirus, a man-made disease. You don't immediately get detected, but it's still a race against time because of its own special gimmick. The bioweapon gains lethality over time, meaning that you need to infect people as fast as you can, else you'll kill off all your hosts. The bioweapon has 3 gene trees that aim to keep your lethality low. Once you completed all of them, you can unlock a hidden Armageddon gene that, upon evolving, will instantly maximize your lethality. It goes without saying that you should save this for when everyone is infected. But it doesn't stop here. There are still 4 special diseases in the game that are very different from the regular ones. Have you ever wanted to control the entirety of the world? Then start a religion. Then a Nurex worm is exactly what you should play. You have 2 ways of winning with this disease. One of them is the regular old hippity hoppity, you're 6 feet under now, deal with it. The other is to invade the minds of everyone and enslave the human race. However, the real kicker about the Nurex worm is its special ability, Trojan Plains. While you describe something seemingly innocent that's hiding something malicious as Trojan when it was actually the Greeks who did that is beyond me. Anyways, the ability causes these bubbles to randomly pop up in infected countries, which allow you to send a plane with at least one infected person everywhere you want. Everywhere. The next disease is actually based on a movie, the Simian Flu. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain where that's from. This disease lets you infect both apes and humans, allowing you to manipulate them in different ways. The best course of action would be to stay undetected, get at least one ape into every country, spread the disease to humans, and then start to kill them with symptoms. If the simian flu was supposed to reference Planet of the Apes, then the Necrovirus references every zombie movie. The gameplay for this pathogen consists of two different phases. In the first one, you should spread as far as possible and try to at least have a foothold in every country, because with this disease you're going to be discovered pretty early on. The second phase starts once you pick up cytopathic reanimation, which works regardless of cure progress. After you have it, the cure becomes irrelevant, as every dead person gets converted to a zombie and infectivity no longer matters. In this phase, you can unlock such things as horde mentality, allowing you to send a horde of zombies from one country to another, no matter if there's an ocean in between. So, you know what that means. However, you aren't just given free reign here. In phase 2, an organization called ZCOM will emerge and try to stop you. At first, they will set up weak bases in multiple countries. However, they will get stronger over time. Add to that the fact that zombies decompose after a while, and you'll have yourself the hardest disease type in the game. And now for the final special disease. The Shadow Plague is pretty similar to the Necrovirus, as an optimal run also consists of two phases. Also, you play as a vampire in this one. At the start, you're just focusing on upgrading your vampire while farming DNA and killing people with your Blood Rage ability. You're also able to travel from country to country as a bat, which is going to be important because once the population of one country is dead, you're going to starve there. After your killings have been noticed, you'll be hunted down by this universe's version of the Helsing organization, who will set up bases in different countries and send out drones to destroy your lairs if you have any. Unfortunately for them, however, they don't have the Crimson Fucker, so they stand absolutely no chance. After they're dealt with, you can unleash the actual Shadow Plague, which is just regular gameplay, except you also got one or two bloodthirsty vampires running around. And that's it for the disease types. Let's move on to, but what about the flex tape?
We get there when we get there!
Aside from the regular disease gameplay, you also have access to scenarios that mix things up a little. There's a decent amount of official scenarios, but the real highlight of the game are the custom scenarios made by other players. There are a lot of them, ranging from good to bad, from pretty balanced to extremely OP, and from serious and immersive to funny as hell. One of the first custom scenarios I ever played was Rise of the Xenomorph, which is, as the name implies, based on Alien. This scenario was a lot of fun, featuring all kinds of new transmissions, symptoms, and abilities. However, since this scenario is based on a creature that is often labeled as the perfect organism, it was more on the easier side. Though it did help that you could survive getting cured more than once. Another scenario I played, which is definitely one of my favorites, is Math, also known as mental abuse to humans. This scenario is exactly what you would think with a name like that. You're killing the world with numbers and equations in this one. Transmissions are replaced with different topics, ranging from simple addition and subtraction to the other bullshit that is calculus. In order to unlock these transmissions, you have to unlock the required abilities first, and hang on a sec. What the fuck? You also get the symptom True Understanding, which gives some people the ability to understand math and use it in their daily lives. Hey, I think we can make a religion out of this. Oh. Once you unlock calculus transmissions, you can also start to ramp up your lethality, which is understandable. After all, there is no escape. And that's math. Mental Gen? The time has come. It is time to patch, bond, seal, and repair.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Tape.
This scenario has a somewhat slow start. You really need to invest into transmissions in order to even leave the US, because that's where you always start. Of course, this disease is all about the Flex Seal family of products. You got all types of Flex Tape, ranging from the regular product over the clear version all the way to Flex Spray. You can use it for medical purposes, you can ship it or fly it to different countries, you can even create the Flex OS, an operating system for Flex Seal fans.
It even works underwater.
The real kicker in this scenario are the symptoms. There are three possible endings, one of them being the usual I sought these people in health, and the other two are Phil related. First of all, there's the Cult of Phil, which goes as far as to turn non-believers into Flex Tape. Holy shit, how the hell is that even possible? If you infect everyone and have this symptom evolved, you automatically win the game. But as a green dyslexic man once said, there is another. If you develop these three symptoms, you get the Unification Victory condition, which essentially has humans enhance themselves with Flex Seal products. It seems like Phil truly has managed to repair the world with the power of Flex Tape. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching this silly little video. Making something less time consuming after putting out 2 videos on a 60-hour RPG and going through literal hell was quite refreshing. If you enjoyed this video, you might wanna leave a like, maybe even subscribe if you feel like it. I'm not trying to force you here, but you might want to seriously consider these two options, because I'm not exactly sure if Phil's going to stop at sawing boats in half. Anyways, that'll be it for today. I want to leave you with one final message. Fuck Greenland. Bye.